And so as you relax here, settling into your breath, you can allow the knees to tend and rest against one another. Noticing how the body is feeling this morning. Noticing if there's any areas that feel sore or tight or restricted. And just seeing if you can slowly bring your breath into those different areas of the body.
I think that's everybody know, Katya. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. So we're just beginning here, everybody laying on our back, hands on the belly, knees tilted in to rest against one another, the eyes closed and breathing. And as you inhale, let's think about it's almost as if we're filling up a glass of water from the bottom to the top. So begin to breathe into the belly, expanding the breath into this area, feeling the hands lift. And then slowly begin to expand the breath laterally into the sides of your ribs, feeling your rib cage opening like an accordion. And lastly, moving the breath up into the chest. As you exhale, it's the opposite. We'll empty the upper lobes of the lungs, side ribs moving in, and lastly, the belly. Continue to breathe like that, 360 degrees of a global breath throughout the body. And when you begin to breathe deeply here, you begin to notice that our bodies are actually capable of breathing much more deeply and fully than maybe we normally do. There's actually much more room for our breath than we normally use. Taking the head now and just rolling the head loosely from side to side. So the chin is moving from one shoulder and over to the other. Loosening up the neck and the throat. Notice if as you turn your head to one side and the other, if there's one side that's a little more or less restricted. And then bring the head all the way back into a neutral position. Let's gather both knees up towards our chest, wrapping the hands around the shins, giving them a little squeeze as we roll here, side to side. And you could bring the knees in a little closer. And then start to take them a little further away like we did yesterday, rolling across your hips and down into your tailbone. And then bringing the knees up and rolling into that mid and lower back. And then without rolling, we can now just rest the feet down onto the floor. We're going to widen the feet up a little bit so your feet actually come onto the outer edges of your mat. And then taking our knees like windshield wipers, we're going to drop both knees over to the right. And as we lower the knees to the right, you can start to draw that left knee down towards the floor, feeling that stretch running along the inner left thigh, from the knee across the thigh towards the outer hip. It's the longest muscle in the human body that we're stretching here with this movement, called the sartorius muscle. Now bring the knees all the way back up, and let's windshield wiper the legs over to the left. Big breath here. Good. Bring them back up, and again over to the right. Now, if this feels like enough for you, you could maintain this. To make it a little bit deeper, we'll take our right ankle and stack that just on the outside of our left knee thigh area. And just the weight of that foot resting on the thigh will help to drop the knee down towards the floor. Nice full belly breath. And then we can release the right foot. Carry both knees back up. Swing the knees over to the left. And then we'll bring the left ankle and stack that on top of the right outer thigh knee area. Just letting both knees sink towards the floor heavily here. Nice full breath. And then release the left foot from the right knee and carry again both knees all the way back up. Bring both knees again up towards your chest, but this time we'll widen the knees apart, bringing the soles of the feet together. And we can reach on up and grab a hold of the outer edges of our feet or ankles. And then feel free here to roll side to side. Now, if grabbing a hold of the feet doesn't feel accessible, you could always use a strap around your feet if that's better, or you could grab a hold of your shins or your pant legs. And if rolling side to side feels uncomfortable for the back, you could just maintain it stable. And then without rolling, just holding it here. Plug the shoulders down your back. Press the soles of the feet against one another, thinking about pulling the heels in towards your belly button. Plugging the tips of the shoulders back down towards the floor. One more big breath. Now, hooking the hands around the outer edges of your feet. What we're going to do is begin to widen the feet apart into what's called happy baby pose. So the soles of the feet now are facing the ceiling, and the feet are directly above our knees. Now, if grabbing a hold of them like this doesn't work, you could use your strap around the tops of your feet and grab a hold of your strap instead. And so feel free here to roll a little bit side to side across the back. Massaging out those thick muscles that travel along the sides of your spine, your paraspinals. And as you draw the feet downwards, you'll feel those knees sinking down towards the sides of the ribs, deepening that stretch into the hips. Without rolling now, let's just hold it here for one more big breath. Now we're going to keep a hold of just the right foot in happy baby and slowly extend the left leg down onto the floor. Firming the back of your left thigh down, reaching into the left heel. If you need to transition to the strap around the foot instead of the hand, you can here. And let's think about really firming the back of your left thigh down so you can feel that opening through the front of the left hip crease. Reaching into the left heel as you relax your right hip. Nice full breath here. Good. Bring your left knee all the way back up, the foot coming up into full happy baby. We have both feet now. And then as you exhale, release your right foot and stretch your right leg down along the floor. Firming the back of your right thigh down. Reaching into your right heel. If you need to transition to a strap around your left foot, you could. Plugging the shoulders down your back, having a nice full breath here. And releasing on the exhale any tension from the body. Stretch that right leg long to open that right hip crease. Good. Rebend the right knee. Bring it all the way back up. Hook your hand around that foot back to full happy baby. And then again, gather the soles of the feet against one another, pulling the feet into what's called butterfly. Soles of the feet resting against one another, heels pulling in towards the belly button. Relaxing the shoulders down away from your ears. Inhale. And as you exhale, release and setting your feet down to the floor. So if you have anything underneath the back of your head now, let's just slide that out for a moment so that our head is flat on the ground. Knees are bent and feet are about hip width apart. And then we'll bring our arms long beside our hips with the fingers pointing down towards the heels and the thumbs pointing down onto the floor. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly pressing the soles of your feet firmly down into the floor, elevate the hips up off of the ground, drawing the hips up towards the ceiling. And then you can draw your hands together below your back there, bringing the palms of your hands together and interlacing the fingers. And then we could walk the shoulders one by one in towards one another. So you're sort of closing that distance between the shoulder blades. Pressing down through the outer wrist. Drawing the hips up. Pressing down through the heels. And again, just opening up those hip creases. Nice big breath here. Slowly release your hands and roll your spine down, bone by bone, like a string of pearls. Bring your hands back onto your belly, like the way we began. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths here, in through the nose and out through an open mouth. Breathing that tension out. Big inhale. Open the mouth, exhale. One more. Big exhale. Good. So we'll sweep the arms out nice and wide now at about the height of the shoulders with the palms of the hands facing up. And what we'll do here now is cross the right ankle, or the right leg rather, all the way over top of the left so that the inner thighs are touching and the knees are stacked and there's no little window between the legs here. So if we lift the hips up, we just slide the hips over to the right, just by an inch or two. That'll just create a little bit more room for this twist in the low back. Nice big inhale. And as you exhale, we'll slowly begin to lower the legs over to the left. Now, if it's too far for you to bring the knees all the way to the floor, you could always take a folded blanket or pillow underneath the knees and stack the knees onto that. Just sort of prop the legs up. So we have the arms out wide, the knees crossed and dropping over to the left. Nice full breath. Relax into your back, allowing your legs to become heavier. One more big breath. And then slowly bringing the legs all the way back up. We'll uncross that right leg, center the hips, and cross the left leg now on top of the right. Again, we're bringing the thighs right together. Lift the hips up and just shimmy them over to the left just by an inch or two. Big inhale. And as you exhale, lowering the legs over to the right. If you'd like that support of a blanket or pillow beneath that right knee or thigh, you could tuck that under there. And then just letting the legs completely relax into the floor. And breathing down into this twist that's happening through the center of the body. One more big breath. And then slowly bringing the legs all the way back up, centering out the hips, uncrossing that leg. If you'd like to replace the block below your head or the pillow below your head, you could do that now. And then what we'll do is take a hold of our strap and open it all the way up. And let's extend the right leg as we did yesterday, up towards the ceiling, bringing the strap around that right foot. And then straighten the left leg all the way down onto the floor. Pressing the sole of the right foot up, the back of the left thigh down, and let's just relax those shoulders away from the ears. Gliding the leg in on the exhale, maybe a little bit more. One more big breath. Straighten the right leg. And then taking both ends of the strap into the right hand, inhale. And as you exhale, open that right leg out to the right side. But as you open the leg out to the side, keeping the back of your left hip and thigh firm on the floor. Expand the breath, 360 degrees of breathing here. Inhale. And as you exhale, elevate that right leg all the way back up. Take the ends of the strap into the left hand and open the right arm out wide. Big inhale. And as you exhale, track the leg over to the left. Allowing that right hip to roll up off of the floor. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly track that right leg all the way back up. Let's bring our left foot inside of the strap and slowly lower the right leg down along the floor. Pressing that left heel up towards the ceiling. Let's relax the shoulders down. Even if we need to take the left leg a little further away from us, let's make sure it's as straight as possible. Taking your time here, letting those muscles and connective tissue lengthen from heel to sitting bone. Breathing into this. And then gathering both ends of the strap into the left hand, inhale. And as you exhale, slowly begin to open that left leg out to the left side. Keep tension on that strap. Press the back of your right thigh down. Nice big inhale. And as you exhale, let's elevate that leg all the way back up. Ends of the strap coming into the right hand now. Left arm out wide, inhale. And exhale, track the leg over to the right. Nice big breath here. Inhale. And exhale, bring the leg all the way back up. Keeping that left leg up above you, let's bring our right leg up inside of the strap as well. Both feet up above us. And pointing our toes up towards the ceiling, stretching up the tops of the feet. And then flexing the feet and drawing the toes down towards the body. And then again pointing. And then flexing. Just going back and forth a few more times. Good. And then just neutral feet. We can bend the knees now and release the feet to the floor. And we could just bring that strap off to the side. And we'll roll ourselves over to one side and then press up into a seated position. And from a seated position here, if you'd like a little bit of support underneath your hips, you could take a pillow or foam block, if you have it, underneath your hips. It's just to give your hips a little bit of support here. Okay, so let's have the legs out in front for now. And what we're going to do is take our left leg underneath our right leg so that our left heel comes to the outside of our right hip. So left leg under the right leg, that's it. And we want to have that knee as much as we can towards the very center of the body. So rather than kind of having the left knee kicking out to the side, I'm pulling it to the middle, and that's it. And then what I'd like you guys to do is lean over onto that left hip. So I'm leaning to the left hip a whole lot. Then it'll be easier to step that right leg across. So the right foot now is stepping to the outside of that left knee. Yeah. And we're going to actually work it back in the direction of the hip. It may not go there today, but that's the direction that you're moving in. And then you can start to sit your right hip back down. Again, all of this is just sort of dependent on how flexible you are. So you could keep yourself with a little lean to the side if that feels like it's strong enough for you, or you could start to sit that hip all the way down. Now, the other option would be to go into a simple cross-legged position if you feel like this crossing over is a little too strong for you. Okay. Otherwise here, let's sit up nice and tall, open up the chest and roll the shoulders down. And then as you exhale, slowly begin to come forward. You can walk your hands forward, bringing your body over your legs and feeling that really strongly in through the hips. And there should be no pain or discomfort in the knees. So if there is, make sure you back off out of that. We should just feel this really through the outsides of the hips here. And just settle in with a few deep breaths. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly begin to come all the way back up. And then we can unwrap our legs. So let's try this with the other side. We'll tuck our right leg now below the left, bringing that right knee as much as we can towards the very center of the mat. And if we lean a little bit over to one side and step that left leg over, drawing the left heel towards the outside of the right hip in that direction. And then working, so eventually the knees are stacking one on top of the other. That's what we're sort of moving towards. And then we can start to sit that left sitting bone down, rooting down, so that the pelvis gets as level as we can make it here. So let's inhale and sit up nice and tall. And then as you exhale, then we can slowly lean in. And again, that's only if that feels like there's no discomfort in the knees. As you lean in, we can relax those shoulders and think about carrying the breath into the area of the body where you're feeling the strongest sensation. Nice big breath. And then slowly rising all the way back up and unwrapping the legs. We can just extend them out and give them a little bit of a shake. Good. And then what we'll do is take the legs out nice and wide along the floor. And this is where it's useful to have that little pillow propped under your seat so that it's sort of helping to roll your pelvis forward. So it's just sort of just tucked under the edge here. And then take a peek at your legs and see that your knees and your toes, as much as possible, are pointing straight up. So we'll just start with a really slow side to side movement, leaning from one side to the other. And as you do that, try to keep the front of the body facing forward. So we're not collapsing, rounding here. We're opening up the side bodies. Now let's go to one side and just pause, just hold it there. And then take your top arm up and reach it up towards the ceiling, and maybe even reach it over towards the leg that you're moving towards if that feels like you're able to maintain a stable base as you do that. Nice big inhale. And then as you exhale, coming all the way back up, and let's lean over to the other side, taking our top arm all the way up and over. Nice full breath here. And then all the way up. Good, gathering the legs all the way back together. You can untuck that support from the seat. We're going to come over into all fours now, centering hands below the shoulders and knees below the hips. Into this tabletop position, let's inhale with a neutral spine. And then as you exhale, begin to slowly round the back. As you inhale, pull the spine into the body, rotating the pelvis, opening up the chest and looking ahead. And then as you exhale, rolling through the back, tucking the tail, lifting bone by bone along the spine. Inhale, reverse, take the spine into the body. Look up. Exhale, lengthen your spine, round the back, lift through the shoulder blades. Inhale. Slowly bring the spine into the body, opening up the belly and the chest. Look ahead. And then back into a neutral position here. Widen the knees up just a touch, big toes touching, and then sinking back. Extending the arms long, bringing the forehead to the floor. Nice big breath here. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly rise up to all fours. Good. Okay. So you guys can get whatever you'd like now for Shavasana, the end relaxation. So you're going to be laying on your back. So get whatever you need. If you'd like a pillow below your knees, you could do that. A blanket over your body. Good. So doing all of those little wiggles and adjustments that you need to allow your body to settle in and become comfortable here. And just knowing that right now there's absolutely nothing that you need to do. There's no list that you need to write in your head. There's no planning. That this next 5 minutes is completely dedicated to your rest, relaxation, and healing. As you exhale, feel the bones settling into the earth. Feel the weight that you carry in your life, your different responsibilities, slowly releasing from your muscles, from your shoulders, from your back. Feel the lightness of the breath entering the body and filling you up, revitalizing your cells and tissue. And as you exhale, breathing out that which is no longer serving you. And feeling how your toes can relax right into the arches of your feet. The ankles loosening into the calves. Allow your kneecaps to float as your thigh muscles drape effortlessly over the bones. And feel the hip creases relaxing into the body as you relax the pelvic floor. And the pelvis loosening into your lower back. Notice the length of your spine, warm and restful below you. The curves of the back softening. As you inhale, feel a slow ballooning of your breath through your belly. As you exhale, relaxing the belly, feeling the inner organs floating effortlessly within your abdomen. On the next inhale, expanding the rib cage, expanding the chest with the breath. And as you exhale, relaxing the ribs around the lungs, releasing the chest into the upper back. And feel the weight of your shoulders, that relaxation and heaviness in the shoulders washing down your arms, loosening the elbows and the wrists, relaxing the fingers. Feel the pulse in the tips of your fingers. Relax the neck and the throat. Loosen the jaw, a little space between the teeth. The tongue relaxed from the root to the tip. And the face expressionless. Feel your eyes softening into the sockets. The brain resting on the back of your skull. And slowly bringing your awareness back, but allowing that sweetness of relaxation to remain. As you feel ready, rolling to your side and easing yourself up into a seated position. Namaste.
Stay.
Thank you so much, everybody. It was lovely to see you all this weekend. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of what you've got planned today.